I, Vampire, number 10, written by Joshua Hale Fialkov, art by Andrea Sorrentino. I'm just going to be upfront with you. I adore this issue. Like, 200%. I love this issue. So I'm not even going to be able to break it down, like, page for page here. This is just going to be, like, a general flavor. So last issue we left off with uh, Mary challenging Andrew to a fight in order to see who rules, like, the vampires. And John and Tig being held captive by the Van Helsings, who are flying a helicopter and plane like fleet across the sea. So this issue, the first half of it, the pictures, the panels themselves are the fight scene between Andrew and Mary. And he's like, "You don't even know the half of my power. You don't want to do this." And she's like, "Well, show me." And it's just so perfectly orchestrated of just, you get the feel of like how massively outclassed Mary is in this fight, how she's putting in everything it takes in order to fight against Andrew, and yet he's just effortlessly doing like nothing and still managing to beat her. Like, there's this one part where she transforms into her wolf form, and in the foreground you have Andrew standing up against her, like almost taken aback, but then in the background you see him just effortlessly just batting away her claws and stuff like that without even like thinking about it or breaking a sweat. So no matter what he is, the upper hand. This entire time it's going on, the dialogue, the overtop stuff is John talking to the leader of the Van Helsings on the airplane and basically just having a philosophical debate about like why the Van Helsings are more morally right to kill vampires than vampires are to kill normal people. And like there's just back and forth of like moral objectivism, moral relativism, like how one side is for the betterment of these people, yet the other side is for the benefit of these people. And they just are going through this whole debate as to whether or not anyone here can be regarded as good in any way, and why Andrew is still someone that they should put their trust in when it comes down to this sort of thing. And how it seems like he is letting Mary live, and that is putting the world in danger, but like how that he's still the guy to trust here, at least on John's side, whereas the Van Helsings disagree entirely. And then the Van Helsings make their they guy gets a whisper, and it cuts back to them for a little section here. And he basically tells them, like, okay, here's the thing. We've been talking in metaphors this whole time. Let me give you another one. Napalm. The entire world would tell you that it was made by a Harvard scientist as a jellied gasoline. My favorite quote here is, "History, of course, is a dirty, lying whore." God, I love this book. So John realizes, okay, the Van Helsings created napalm as a way to fight vampires. It's literally sticky fire. It may not kill them, but it is enough to put them out. And so he lays down the stuff. He's like, look, our people date all the way back to Egyptian times. That's when vampires first showed up, and we believe it may have even been this cane that was showing up in the iVampire event. But regardless, he raised up some vampires, and we managed to figure out that staking them and chopping off their head was enough to kill them. And so that's what we do now. We fight them. And he goes on this extra little bit of like, the next step, once we eradicate the vampires, is obvious. It's the superheroes. Like, this world is like, if the vampires take over, then it's not mankind that rules anymore. It's the vampires. The superheroes are the next step to that. Like, yes, they seem altruistic right now, but they could just as easily turn, and they will enslave humanity because we have no way to fight against them if we let them take over. So that's the goal. Anyway, at this point, the planes finally reach this plane in Utah. Mary's, of course, knocked on her ass. And the planes start dropping napalm bombs on just this massive horde of vampires, which by the Van Helsing's estimation is 60% of all the vampire population. So fire's breaking out. Every one of the vampires starts burning. Andrew puts up a massive shield and uses backwards magic like Zatanna to put out the fires. And apparently Andrew's like, I thought that John would be able to reason with the Van Helsings. That's why I had him sent there. And Mary's like, you sent for the Van Helsings, you stupid bastard? So then the Van Helsings, we see them go full on like Hydra pose, and they all start jumping out of the airplanes and parasailing down. And they're all wearing these little Anubis statues around their neck, But they start paraselling down, and Andrew's like, hey, they're coming. You will not kill them. You can incapacitate them. You will not kill them. And Mary's like, the hell they won't. So Andrew flies up and tells them, like, hey, we're not going to kill you. Just don't attack us. But at that point, someone fires off a stake into Andrew's back, which at this point doesn't kill him anymore. He's far more powerful than that. But it lands, and it's just chaos. Like, everyone's attacking everyone else. And even the leader of the Van Helsings, he's like, all right, look, we fought fire with fire for long enough. Right now, we're fighting fire with a nuclear warhead. We're going to take care of this right here. All 60% of these vampires are going to be gone today. And he jumps out of the plane, along with the two pilots on their plane, to which Tig and John realize this. And he's like, I love this thing here of, those are the pilots, aren't they? And John says, sure looks like it. And Tig's like, I hate you so much. So at this point, Mary's like, dude, these guys are going down easy. Like, this is not a problem at all. We are very easily able to win this. And Andrew's just lamenting over the fact of like, oh God, what did I do? How did I make this happen? But then Andrew looks up and he's like, Mary, we're in trouble. And Mary's like, what are you talking about? We're winning. He's like, no, seriously. They're coming back to life. And we see all of the Van Helsings and their little Anubis statues are allowing them to basically come back to life. And the bottom text for Tune In next issue says Vampires versus Zombies. This issue is a 9. This issue is like, no, this issue is a 9.5. I love everything this issue did. The philosophical talk over top of the awesome fight scene. It sets up so much. It's such a smart book. And then just when it gets to the part of like, okay, we've done our thing, they bring in vampires versus zombies on a massive horde scale. This book is so goddamn good. Jesus. I love it. I cannot even begin to tell you how much I love this book. And I'm so sad because I think it ends in like 2 issues. But it's still fantastic. And I'm so happy that we at least got this much of the story out before it got canceled. So I am super interested in how we're going from here. I can't wait to see the twists and turns it takes. God, I love this book.